Hi, my name is Robert Larson. I'm an attorney and I'm also the owner of Arsenal Law in Mesa, Arizona. And over the years, I've represented hundreds of people in child custody trials. And if I had a custody trial for myself and it went horribly wrong, and I ended up with court orders that were severely restricting or limiting my rights to my children, here are the 5 things that I would do. And at the end, I'll tell you why. First of all, whatever rights I do have, I would exercise them as much as possible. I would shoot for 100%. So every time I'm allowed to see them or have phone or video calls, or if I have the right to access information about their education or medical care and things like that, I would exercise that 100% if possible. Um, and if not 100%, as much as possible. Second, I would document whatever goes on with the co-parenting relationship, whether it's positive or negative. I would just keep records as things are happening so that when you end up back in court someday, you have records that you kept at the time that the things were happening, and that's going to give you much more details, and it's going to be much more believable to a judge than if you just go back to court later on and make vague allegations and don't have the receipts to back it up. 3, I would make sure my communications with the other parent are flawless. In other words, everything would be in writing, preferably a co-parenting app, but at least some type of writing so that there's a record of it. And I would make sure that everything is positive, focused on the kids, and show that you're being a co-parent who's willing to cooperate, and nothing negative, absolutely nothing that you wouldn't want a judge to see. Fourth, this is maybe a little surprise because it's somewhat unrelated, but I would pay whatever child support is ordered to pay. So in Arizona, for example, custody and support are supposed to be 2 separate issues, and you're not supposed to deny someone custody rights because they're not paying their child support. However, judges are human, and if you're not paying your child support, they're going to have a negative opinion of you. So pay the child support. Also, sometimes it makes the other parent cooperate with you more as well. So anyway, number 5, and I think this is the most important one actually. If your rights to your children have been restricted for some reason, that means the judge had some concerns about you. And you may disagree with those concerns, but that means the judge was worried about either substance abuse, mental health, domestic violence, or it could just be your living arrangements or your work schedule or whatever it is. Um, you want to show that you're dealing with those things and taking care of them. And if you do that, if you deal with the concerns that the judge had, then after a year, you have the right to go back to court and ask the judge to modify your court orders and possibly get some improvements. And if you show the judge that you've dealt with the concerns that the judge had and you've done all those other things that I mentioned, you're going to be in a really strong position, and the judge is actually going to be on your side when you're asking for modification, when you can show that you've done those things. So those are the 5 things I would do. It's not a comprehensive list, but those are the 5 things I would focus on. But let me know what you think. If you have any questions, comments, let me know. Thanks.